All right, so start it up. Yeah, 1987, I'm going to go ahead and say it was the year of U2.
It was, but I was having a hard time figuring out what year of school that was for me.
Yeah, I think it was definitely middle school. It was like 8th grade, 9th grade, something like that.
Why aren't school years calendar years? Right? Like, so 1987 was the second half of my 8th grade.
Because people had to go out and work the harvest, man.
I mean,
the weather. It was to do with the weather.
The new Dad Rock, Dad by day, podcaster by night. Hosts Keith and Steve, two college radio DJs in the 90s, helped expose bands like Nirvana, Pavement, and PJ Harvey. They went to shows, interviewed musicians, and reviewed albums for various Zions papers. They worked security at concerts and once, even did loading for fish. Now, they're dads. Whether you want to explore lesser-known music or take a trip down memory lane, tune to the new Dad Rock. Join hosts Keith and Steve as they navigate the ages together, sharing love of music across various eras and genres. Always well-intentioned, often well-informed, seldom boring. The new Dad Rock will expand your mind.
Welcome to the new Dad Rock. As you may recall, we've spoken about U2 in passing in 1983 when their album War came out, which I think was when they got into the zeitgeist. Pride in the Name of Love on The Unforgettable Fire, which came out in December of 84.
A video I saw a lot at MLK.
Yeah, exactly. So that
on UH1, Universal Hits 1.
They were right there, and the ensuing two and a half years between those albums gave everyone time to go back and listen to their back catalog. And as we touched on in last week's episode about going back and listening to the back catalog and then being excited for the next album, 1986, no U2 album. 1987, early March, the Joshua Tree drops. And let me tell you, this album was huge, right?
Yeah,
I don't
definitely
need to
was
tell
because...
anyone. Like, if you were there, this was huge.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it until we just started talking now, but like, I was wondering, because my dirtbag friends, friends who listen to heavy metal or the crap you listened to back then, they became U2 fans.
Well, it's interesting you say that is because I liked U2 from War on. So as I was getting into heavy metal, because they're rock, they have that driving beat.
Yeah.
And for me, anyway, and I believe it was their lead single, I remember hearing it in a Strawberries. It's Friday night. I'm looking around for new music at the local Strawberries record store, and I hear this driving bass in the background, and sure enough, it's With or Without You, which, that's got to... It's
a top 10 song. I agree.
It's close enough that someone, as you described as a dirtbag, would like it enough, right?
Yeah. I mean, in 1985 or episode 85, we covered how you weren't a dirtbag and you weren't a jock or whatever. But yeah, like everyone loved this album, and that's why I had to go back to thinking about it, because I know it was definitely 8th grade for me, because I remember being at McKenna High School with Keith O'Connor.
Yeah,
and he's the dirtbag I was referencing.
Yeah. So speaking of dirtbags, let's touch on some current goings. We'll come back to 1986 in a few minutes.
Dude, Hardy's not a dirtbag. Hardy's not a dirtbag. Oh my God,
I wasn't even implying that. I didn't even look at the notes. I didn't know what you were going to talk about, and you're already defensively saying I wasn't calling him a dirtbag. But you're saying he is.
Not me, a dirtbag. Hardy. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, but you're the one that brought it up. I didn't.
I did. I thought. My bad. I was.
So you think projecting. Hardy's a dirtbag? I got it.
No, Hardy's the man. Okay, I actually last episode I said Shabuzi might have album of the year, and then I corrected myself. I said album of the summer. I think Hardy, whose album is not out yet, and I don't think he's going to break any critical ground, which is not a knock, by the way. I think that it's going to be album of the year because they've already released 5 of the songs, and I wasn't a Blink-182 fan. I wasn't a Nickelback fan, but man, I love this rock country stuff. Like, he claims, he says, it's not claiming, he says it, that like he writes country lyrics to rock songs, and I dig that. I saw him at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, which is an oxymoron. Freedom Mortgage. And I bought tickets so long ago, but loved his last album, The Mockingbird and the Crow, that I got pit tickets, which I've now decided I'm either getting lawn, the cheapest tickets, or I'm getting pit. And I'll just go to less shows. But man, it was like a 20,000+ person place. I'm in like the 500 person pit, which is not crowded for some reason. Like they don't oversell it. So you're standing, I don't know, 10 people back. Is that 15, 20 feet? He has a stage that comes out to the fence, like it's like a T, so he can walk out into the audience, and it ends where the gate is that blocks off my area. So I'm both like, he's in front of me when he runs stage right, and he's in front of me when he walks down this walkway. And it was 21 songs. I mean, 2 of them were joke songs. He made fun of Creed by playing a verse chorus of 2 Creed songs. But man, it was fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome. He plays the same set all the time. I mean, it evolves, but like I knew what he was going to play.
Well, how long has this fella been around? So how many songs does he have to choose from? So it makes sense that he's playing the same 20 songs.
Oh, no. So, okay, I think he put out like a 4 or 5 song EP in 88. But he has 25... I'm sorry, I guess 2018.
Okay, that's a
okay,
difference.
episode 88 is like next episode. I'm sorry, I got confused. But yeah, so 2018, but he went to school to be a songwriter, and he's from Philadelphia, Mississippi, so my namesake, but different state. And like I think he has 25, I can't be number 1 hits, but top 10 hits in country. Like he's a songwriter. Like he
wrote these songs. He didn't necessarily perform all those top hits.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He wrote God's Country, Blake Shelton, number 1. He did Single Saturday Night, which is a terrific song. I'm not sure that was number 1. That's why I think it might be. But he writes songs with other people. Like he's a collaborator. But then he started writing his own songs. He wrote country songs. And then the last album, The Mockingbird and the Crow, half the album's country, and then he tells a story about, and then he does rock songs, which sound like Alice in Chains. And when I heard him do an interview, he actually referenced Alice in Chains. Anyway, he has this new album coming out, but it's like more like it's not Weird Al Yankovic parody level, but he has a song called Rockstar, and the lyrics are everyone has a song called Rockstar.
Okay,
and then like the video is like Kiss and Nickelback, and like it's a joke. But he also like has other songs called Jim Bob. Oh my god, like his songs are just so good, dude. 6 Feet Under, which is an acoustic ballad. Like, I don't know. It just shows that I must have listened to horrible music in the 80s, like Don't Dream It Over by Crowded House. Like, I just like pop music, but he's so good.
Well, is there something analogous to 1987 that he would fit in? Is he like George Michael Faith? Is he Appetite for Destruction? Is he...
Oh, what is he? No, I think he'd be a pop star in 1987. Like, okay.
Well, I concur with your rock songs from the 80s. You slightly changed the tuning or just modify the sound and the production a little bit. It's easily a country song. Most of the hair metal and glam metal, pop metal songs from 1987, put them in 2024, you could make a country rock song out of it easily.
Oh yeah, we've covered this half a dozen times, that country music is rock music, or in this case, heavy metal or hair music from 40 years ago, 100%. In fact, this is all AI should be working on, is converting all the heavy metal songs into country songs.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
All right.
So just to show you the dichotomy of the new dad rock. So that's the dad rock that Keith is is working on. A new album that I've been listening to, which is literally 180 degrees different from what you just described, is Beak. So Beak includes Jeff Barrow from Portishead. So think of that dreamy, trippy, electronic style of Portishead, as well as this band also did a lot of movie and television soundtrack work. So think of the atmospherics of that combined with Portishead. Throw in some insistent krautrock beats and like psychedelic, almost Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young like harmonies on vocals, and put it all together, and this is what Beak is. It's stylized Beak, the word Beak, with a little caret symbol, or the greater than symbol at the end. And of course, this is being their fourth album, is just four of those greater than symbols, the Beaks. But I, if you don't dig on what Keith is throwing down at you, maybe 180 degrees away, check out what I'm throwing at you. Beak just came out in, call it June, May, sometime this year. If you listen to two or three songs, you'll know whether you like it or not.
Beak has other albums, right? I've heard of Beak before.
Yeah, they have one that's got 3 of those little marks. Then they have another one that has 2 of those little marks. So, yeah.
The carrots. They're called carrots, or greater than symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I love it. I love the symbology. I didn't know it was the guy from Portishead. That makes it cooler.
Yeah. I mean, he's not the only fella in the band, but...
yeah,
I was describing his style to ground you in the band. So I think, what we talked about, I think in the last episode, was how the trees of music branched off, and they would splinter off from there. So through the early 80s, you have bands like The Cure, and you have Depeche Mode, and the Smiths, who've recently broken up at this point. They're coming through, and Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me comes out in 87. This is the Joshua Tree for
the goth kids. It's a double album, by the way, which is...
Yeah, so Head in the Door was the recent album before that. They had a bunch of singles.
So good.
And the compilation
like
was already out. So they had really peaked. And then Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me comes through. And again, this is a band, me as a metalhead, that came through, and I was like, I begrudgingly respected these guys.
Yeah, it's a really good album. I mean, the first song, The Kiss, was actually on Miami Vice. We were making fun of Don Johnson. Not making fun. We were talking about Don Johnson last time, his Heartbeat album in 86. But, The Kiss was featured. It's an instrumental in the beginning of Miami Vice track.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's got
so
Catch,
good.
Why Can't I Be You?
Just Like Heaven.
That was exactly what I was going to say next.
By the way, Catch is my favorite song.
Catch is, yeah. And it's got that very twee version of Robert Smith. He's like,
Yes. Yes.
Girl,
I love that song so much.
I never even caught her name. Yeah, but Just Like Heaven, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's such a good album. Oh, wow. Double album. I actually have that on vinyl. I think I actually have that in my house on vinyl.
Well, bring that over. Disintegration, when I bought a record player again in, the early 20-somethings, 2010s, whatever they call it, the teens, I bought 5 records at once, and one of them was Disintegration. So
I respect that. But yeah, Disintegration, I can't guarantee it's in my top 10, but I see it at 9, 10, 11, 12.
Well, I think Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me it's the wowie zowie of The Cure. It has so many
really
tracks, and it can be your favorite.
Wow.
But Disintegration to me is funny. In Pavement's case, the reverse order. That's the Crooked Rain. It's more songs, and
it's the whole album.
And every one of them are great.
So slightly different, but same branch of the tree, if you will. INXS Kick. Terrific album. It has Devil Inside, which actually sounds like a Beck song. Need You Tonight. New Sensation. And Never Tear Us Apart.
Bum, bum,
so good, dude. It also has other songs, obviously, but Calling All Nations, Tiny Daggers, ends B-side. Oh, so good. Woo! I'm just getting chills thinking about that. I've actually listened to that album in the last month. INXS Kick is top. I'm going to go top 25 for me.
Yeah. So my world at this stage is so different from that. I'm aware of these albums, and my friends, that were in the normal community liked these albums. But I have
the norms.
Two milestones in 1987. The first of which was my first concert that I ever attended. And this is Whitesnake opening for Motley Crue on the Girls, Girls, Girls tour.
Who'd you go with?
I went with my friend Jeff Robbins. We couldn't get a ride to the show. We had to take a cab from our suburb down to Troy at the RPI Fieldhouse. And along the way, this other girl that was in our grade got picked up as well. So it was like me and Jeff and this other girl from our grade. And of course, we're like 15 years old. We did not say one word to her the whole trip. And so we get left off, and Whitesnake's already on, and we see the Motley Crue Girls, Girls, Girls tour. Tommy Lee is in a cage that rises up and comes out over the stage.
Is it spinning around too?
Spins around.
Does it spin upside down?
Yes.
I was just thinking about this the other day. Like literally 2-3 days
Jeff and
ago,
I were there.
who
This is the
drummer?
first concert I ever went to. And we had general admission, like you described, for Hardy. And we were
like
all
pit
the way
level?
up front. We, we're 15-year-old kids. So we were up
you're
there,
small. You can fit in any spot.
I want to say 6 or 7 rows deep from the stage. And
Yeah,
at the
15
end
feet
of the
away,
show,
10, 15.
after all that excitement, balloons come down from the ceiling.
Balloons?
And, yeah, balloons. Motley Crue with Motley Crue Girls, Girls, Girls logo on it. And I quickly untied mine and deflated it and stuffed it in my pocket. And poor Jeff kept his, and we were walking around. And after the show, we're 15-year-old kids in Troy, New York, and somebody snatched the balloon from Jeff. It was very sad. And then his mom picked us up. We didn't have to take the cab home.
Hey, is Jeff in Bastard Rodents?
Jeff is not in Butchered Rodents.
Butchered. So
No. Jeff is someone who I listened to a lot of heavy metal with in the 80s. And one of the albums that we listened to, and I'm sure he made reference to him when he signed my yearbook in high school, was King Diamond, Abigail. So this comes out.
Wait, hold on. Who's the guitarist in King Diamond?
Well,
Fripp?
Andy LaRocque is kind of like the main guy.
Okay.
But he usually has 2 guitarists, and he's had many over the years.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I actually got confused with King Crimson.
Okay.
Go on with your King Diamond.
So King Diamond,
story.
Abigail comes out in 1987, and I don't know exactly when it came out, but when I purchased it was right at the end of the school year. And this was the end of the school year where I finished middle school and was done with middle school and going to the high school, a physically different building. So on the last day of school, in the last period, I had gym, and our gym had a substitute teacher. And all day long, kids were going up on the roof and just, you go up on the roof of the gym, you wave around, and you come back down. So I'm in the last period of the last day of school with the substitute teacher, and this has been happening all day. So finally, the substitute teacher catches me and maybe like 6 other guys.
You're so dumb.
Nonetheless, we get literally suspended from school. But what does that mean? It's literally the last day of school. Like, you're done with that school. You're never going back. So I basically just got in trouble with my parents. So one of the punishments was to take all of my tapes away. And that's what I had. I didn't have records. So all my tapes are gone.
Oh, yeah.
But unbeknownst to my parents, I had King Diamond Abigail on me.
Because
I had just got it.
Yeah.
So I had.
Wait, so it's in your cassette player?
For a month, the only album.
That's all you had?
In 1987, July of 1987, the only album I had at home. I could go to my friend's house.
Album of the year, King Diamond Abigail.
Which was fantastic. And, every year you can celebrate Abigail's birthday on July 7th. She was was born on July 7th, 1777, as detailed in the album Abigail by King Diamond.
Wait, this sounds like a Neutral Milk Hotel album.
It's nothing like it, but on par.
You get what I'm saying.
I do get it. It's King Diamond's best album, and he was in Merciful Fate, and he's put out, I don't know, a dozen albums under King Diamond. So, we're talking close to 20 albums this guy's put out in his career. This is his best album, easily.
All right. So last time we were talking about the best karaoke album of all time, Bon Jovi. I feel that Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction was like the best follow-up to that album.
As karaoke album of the year?
No, as the same people who listen to Bon Jovi then listen to that, and that was much better.
Yeah, I remember I used to listen to something called The Metal Shop on Pix 106. It was, I want to say, Thursday nights at like 11 or something. And I remember the DJ played, she's like, this is a new band out of LA called Guns N' Roses. They're going to be bigger than Motley Crue. and she played Guns
You
N'
were like-
Roses. And I was like, really? This is better than Motley Crue? And then sure enough, a few months later, they were bigger than Motley Crue.
Was this before or after you saw Motley Crue at the concert?
This would have been in the fall after seeing Motley Crue. So this
So
is my
I don't
summer.
blame you. I don't blame you. You saw your first band live, and
this
you're
is
like,
my
"There's
summer.
no way."
June.
Yeah.
Get stuck.
Yeah.
Get caught suspended on the roof. July.
King
Listen to
Diamond.
King Diamond. August. See Motley Crue. September.
Guns N' Roses.
I feel like it was October.
Yeah. I'm sure we can look it up, but facts are not going to ruin the New Dad Rock. Speaking of old bands, I think the first Pink Floyd album I got, and in fact, probably the first Pink Floyd album I actually heard was Momentary Lapse of Reason, which is a weird album to enter on.
Known by many fans as a momentary lapse of talent.
Was it also the first album without Roger Waters?
Indeed.
Yeah, but it's like 4 years after the final cut. Yeah,
I think it's a little bit longer after that, but yeah, the final cut was 100% Roger Waters, and this was 100% not Roger Waters. And it was good, adult, easy listening music, and combine that with their greatest hits, it made for an amazing tour. And they put out Delicate Sound of Thunder, the live album from that tour, a couple of years later, and that was like the soundtrack to my high school, along with several others, but that was definitely in the top 20 most played, if not top 10 most played in my high school career.
Oh my God. I remember that now. And then Pulse came out later when they came out with Division Bell, right?
Yeah, we were in college when Pulse came out. And I think I think that had Dark Side in its entirety live.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, all right. I would be remiss to say one last album that I listened to a lot in 1987. Was Faith No More, Introduce Yourself. This is...
Wait, in 1987?
In 1987, we listened to it.
Oh, wow.
I was skater adjacent, as I might have mentioned in an earlier episode.
Yes.
So some of my skater friends, we listened to Faith No More, Introduce Yourself. And this was just... It was just enough off that I liked it. It had the funk, but it wasn't as funky as Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was more metal because Jim Martin, the lead guitarist, was in it. And Chuck Mosley was a horrible singer, and it reminded me more, it was more metal. And in fact, when The Real Thing came out, I didn't like it that much because I didn't like Mike Patton's vocals. Now I love him, but at the time I was used to Chuck Mosley, and I'm like, this is...
Sure.
And to this day, up and down, every song on that album is great. Like, I will put that on any time, and any track that comes on is great. And song, faster disco, R&R, it doesn't matter. Any song.
Have you ever seen Faith No More live?
I did see Faith No More live. I saw them on the Angel Dust tour.
Oh my God, that's the best album. All right, last question for you. What's your favorite R.E.M. album?
I think I like Document the most.
Yeah, I thought you might. That's kind of why I asked
I
you
have
now.
one R.E.M. album on vinyl, and it happens to be Document. And I think it's because that's when I listened to them first. I think there's a lot to the first album you hear of a band, it being your favorite.
Yeah, first mover advantage. So R.E.M. Document had a song called This One Goes Out to the One I Love. And it was used on a TV show. So back in the 80s, I watched TV because I'm 12 or 14 or 17. I don't know how old I am. But there was this show called Tour of Duty, which was about Vietnam. And I want to say it's the first time I really appreciated rock music. I didn't know it was rock music, but there was 2 songs on that TV show, I think in the first season or 2. And it was This One Goes Out to the One I Love by R.E.M. and Painted Black by the Rolling Stones.
That's a good soundtrack song.
Yeah. And then the first vinyl album I got was Painted Black, but a cover by Echo and the Bunnymen.
I thought you were going to say U2, because U2 also covered Painted Black.
Oh, yeah, no, but the first album was this silver. It was the Bedbugs and Value.
Oh, yeah.
And Run, Run, Run cover song.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, Painted Black. Yeah. Oh, my God. But I didn't know that their first album, actually, it's their 5th album, but it's the first one where they name it after themselves, Echo and the Bunnymen, had The Game on it, Bedbugs and Value, and Lips Like Sugar. Were you ever an Echo and the Bunnymen fan?
I never was. It didn't go that far. And... You know, those more obscure bands that people listen to at home in their bedrooms, they weren't played at the parties. Like, maybe The Cure was, or maybe R.E.M. was.
Oh, good point.
People would
All right.
people would play George Michael, but they wouldn't be playing Gene Loves Jezebel.
Oh, that's good. Now it's time for our outro game. It's called Steve, Name the Artist.
Oh shit!
The first one's free. The song's called Faith.
By George Michael.
Bad.
Michael Jackson.
Sign of the Times.
Prince.
Bring the Noise.
Run DMC.
Okay, there's no way. Okay, this is the first fucking one. You're not getting this one. I've Had the Time of My Life from the Dirty Dancing soundtrack.
Is that Swayze?
You just... Yeah, that's who it was. It's Bill Medley and Jennifer Warren.
Oh, but there's a song. She's Like the Wind. Patrick Swayze himself sings.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll call that a push. Fairy Tale of New York.
Oh, that's the Pogues.
Dude, I would never get that even though I know that. Okay, fine. La Bamba.
Well, that version was Los Lobos in the Richie Valens movie. That movie was everywhere that summer. I remember it was on back then HBO was just one channel, and I think HBO ran it 4 or 5 times a day. So if you were at someone's house and they had HBO and it was on, it was La Bamba that summer. I feel like Richie.
Oh, amazing. Okay, check this. Okay, let's see. We're going to go to You Can't Run This Anymore. Nothing's going to stop us now.
And we can build Jefferson Starship, maybe? Starship?
It's Starship at that. Yes, very good. Oh, wow. Okay. This is a gimme, but dude looks like a lady.
Aerosmith.
Tom's Diner.
Suzanne Vega?
Wow. Okay, Learning to Fly. We talked about them.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah. Heaven is a Place on Earth. Heaven is a place on earth.
That was that Debbie Gibson? Or Tiffany?
No.
Who was it?
No.
I
think We're Alone Now was Tiffany. Belinda Carlisle.
Belinda Carlisle. All right.
Okay. Last one for the win. Never Gonna Give You Up.
Rick Astley.
The #1 played YouTube video of all time. I'm just guessing with the Rickroll.
Probably.
Man, the Rickroll. Who would have known?
Who'd have known? So thanks for listening once again as we dilly-dally through 1987, a momentous year.
We navigate the ages together.
Yeah, the age of puberty for Stephen Keith of 1987.
It's so horrible. My poor kids are going through it now.
So much fun. So much fun.
Dude, totally.
So listeners, tell your friends and your post-puberty friends, preferably, about the New Dad Rock.
And your loved ones.
It will expand your mind.